Do you wake up alert, vigilant, ready to go, thinking it must be close to morning, only to realize you've only slept an hour? Has this made you scared, thinking something abnormal and strange is happening and happening only to you? If so, this class is for you. Today, we're going to talk about firefighters' awakenings, why they happen, what to do so that you can find peaceful sleep again. Hope this intro made you curious, because I think today's topic is it's one of those where I go like, why haven't we talked about this before? I got a question. I think it was on Instagram. I think it was an Instagram comment when somebody said, I wake up with, I wait something like this. Like I wake up and I feel like I've slept all night, but it was only an hour. What's going on with this? And I replied briefly in the comment section of Instagram there, but I said I'll make a video on this. And these awakenings are quite common. They're very common actually, and we call them firefighter awakenings because, as you can imagine, a firefighter wakes up alert, ready to go. But yeah, they can be, again, they can be kind of scary because we can think something strange and unusual is happening to us. So I want to talk about them today. Today's class is going to be divided into two sections. So we're going to talk about why they happen and what to do. And if you are a long-time subscriber and you're thinking, well, what to do? I already know that. Daniel's just going to say, like, you've already done it. You've already learned about them. Well, that's only partially true. We're going to get a little deeper in the what to do section today. But yeah, to start the why they happen part of this, we are gonna start by just going over the definition of hyperarousal, because this will help us a lot. So hyperarousal is a mind state or a brain state of increased vigilance and alertness. Think of a child before Christmas. That child is like thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow. They're excited, they're happy, they're expecting something special to happen. So their mind is kind of like in this hyper aroused state, hyper alert state. And so happiness and excitement can put our brain in this hyper aroused state. But in the context of difficulty sleeping and insomnia, the hyperarousal often comes from fear and anxiety. When we're scared of something, the brain is also naturally in a state of heightened alertness because it's kind of in safety mode, looking out for potential threats, right? So this is hyperarousal. Now, just kind of keep that keep that in mind as we continue forward here. Now, when we wake up feeling alert, feeling kind of ready to go, the way our brain interprets that often is, okay, this level of alertness, it must mean that we've slept a lot. It must mean we've slept the entire night. And it's not strange to see why, because typically if we wake up and we feel really groggy and sleepy, that often is because we didn't sleep that much. We're still sort of sleepy. And so when we wake up feeling alert, the interpretation in the brain becomes like, okay, this must mean we slept like a whole lot because we feel so alert. And then what happens often is, like, we kind of check the time and then we go like, whoa, it's only been an hour and I feel this level of alertness. And that can be quite frazzling because, again, we can get this, it make us think that something is wrong. Like, I shouldn't be this alert after sleeping so little, you know? And of course, that is tricky because then we think something is wrong. We become kind of even more hyper aroused. We have even more trouble sleeping. And going back to the hyper arousal, we have more of that as well. And hyper arousal, of course, can make us have more fragmented sleep and trouble sleeping, and it can also make us wake up feeling really alert. And so this is really, like, to summarize it, like to summarize the what is a firefighter's awakening, why do they happen, it is this hyper arousal, that the mind state of like a heightened alertness, that leads us to have a quick transition from sleep to like alertness. So we wake up feeling immediately very, very alert. And so it's actually nothing strange or unusual. It's just yet another way that we can experience hyper arousal that explains this. Now, before we look at, okay, so if this has happened to you, how can you meet this? I just want to spend a second on, like, why we call them firefighter awakenings. Well, we've already talked about how a firefighter, can wake up like really alert, right? When the alarm, the fire alarm goes on, they're ready to go. But not only that, but a firefighter that is on call is in all likelihood quite hyper aroused, for a very obvious reason. They are kind of ready to at any moment jump into a fire truck and go fight a fire. So a firefighter, when they are on call, they probably have quite like superficial sleep, and they wake up immediately. Like when the fire alarm goes off, they immediately go from sleep to like alertness, vigilance. But the thing is that, for a firefighter, they don't go like, wait a minute, why am I so alert? There's no transition from kind of like feeling really sleepy and drowsy to feeling alert. Well, it's kind of like they probably don't even ask themselves that question, because it's so obvious to them that they have this superficial sleep. They have this hyperarousal because they are ready. Uh, Now, with that said, so let us go to the second part of with this, which is like what to do. And I do want to start where I almost always start, which is like understanding what's happening. That is so helpful, because again, when we think this is strange, this shouldn't be happening, we have more hyperarousal, we have more firefighter awakenings, we have more things that make us even more hyperaroused, and we have this kind of loop, right? So understanding, I think, is really helpful, which you hopefully, if I was clear enough, you already have understood why these firefighter awakenings occur. Now, consider not checking the time. It can always be helpful, when you find yourself waking up and feeling kind of quite alert. Like, whenever we check the time, it can lead us to feeling like, oh no, I only have this much to sleep. Oh no, I've only slept this little, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So often just not checking the time can be helpful. But see, here is where I said, I would go a little deeper than I typically do. And it's nothing new here, but it's something I typically don't put in this section of talks, but it's just uh, a reminder that hyperarousal behaves just like emotions and thoughts. Thoughts and emotions are ways that the brain is like communicating with us. It's telling us about something that's, its interpretation of our circumstances. And when we experience a thought, an emotion, or hyperarousal, and we go like, oh, I don't want this has to stop, how can I get rid of this? It's basically like when a friend of ours is not listening to us, they're not hearing something important we have to tell them, or something that we think is important anyway. And so they kind of ignore us, and then we go like, no, you got to hear this. So the more we go like, oh no, hyperarousal is causing these firefighter awakenings, I have to stop the hyperarousal. Well, and the more the brain goes like, oh wait, you're trying to avoid something that that I think is important, I'm going to amplify this. But on the flip side, the more we leave attempts at trying to contain or manage or push away hyperarousal, the more it's just, the message has been delivered, there's nothing more to communicate, and the hyperarousal fades. In other words, as I wrote down here, the more we leave attempts at putting out imagined fires like hyperarousal, the more peace and peaceful sleep we find. And we no longer sleep like a firefighter, but we sleep soundly and peacefully, and we feel well. So yeah, that was firefighter awakenings for you. I hope this made a lot of sense. And if you are finding things getting easier for you, that is wonderful. Please share it in the comment section. That is always so nice to hear. But if you find yourself not quite knowing how to contextualize what we teach here, if you find yourself alone and isolated and people around you don't understand what you are going through, then please head over to our website, thesleepcoachschool.com. Not only can you sign up for our new free mini course, Ready to Sleep in 5 days, but you can schedule a call with one of our coaches who not only understand our teachings, but have gone through the journey themselves. You can check out our app BedTyme, which I think is perfect if you like text-based communication and you like to work one-on-one with a human coach, or you would like to check out our AI responder or helper, Ellie. Or you can check out our Insomnia Immunity program as well, which I think is perfect if you want to share on an emotional level with other people that have gone through something similar to what you've gone through. So yeah, hope you'll find a way to where you want to be. And as always, thanks for being here. Let me know if there's any questions you have. Put them in the comment section, and we shall go from there. I'll conclude here and look forward to seeing you soon. Bye bye.